Pep Guardiola has always been at the precipice of tactical evolution, and against Al Ain in the Club World Cup, he revealed a potential new system that caught many by surprise, his variation of the 3-1-6. But is this system something we can expect more from Pep in the future? Let's take a look. Pep was the catalyst for the popularization of the 3-2-5, with Man City committing 5 players to the front line while maintaining a 3-2 structure and rest defense to prevent counterattacks. But now with more teams like PSG utilizing 3-1 structures and fluid positional rotations, Pep showed his own evolution in this match. Against Al Ain, City lined up in a 4-1-4-1 out of possession, but in possession transitioned to a very bold 3-1-6, extremely aggressive in the opponent's half. Let's break down the 3 key aspects of this system. It was clear that Pep wanted a 3-1 structure in this match, with Akanji as the deepest center back and a line of 3 ahead formed by Gvardiol, Nico Gonzalez, and Kusanov. But what stood out in the build-up was the fluid double pivot, a responsibility rotated between Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. Instead of using a traditional fixed double pivot, Pep vacated the central midfield entirely early in the build-up. All 6 of City's attacking players started high on the opponent's back line, stretching Al Ain's defensive structure and forcing their midfield to constantly scan for late arriving midfielders. On the ball side, either Silva or Gundogan would drop into midfield unmarked, while the far side midfielder would push higher to pin the back line. Both players rotated fluidly, one dropping deeper to link play, the other pushing forward, making it difficult for Al Ain to establish clear marking responsibilities. This dynamic allowed the dropping player to receive in space, while the movement created confusion for Al Ain's defenders should they track the dropping player or pass them off. This forced constant handoffs and made it difficult for Al Ain to defend. This fluidity disrupted Al Ain's shape and allowed City to progress the ball not through structured build-up, but through coordinated, fluid movement. Pep has always had a focus on creating advantageous 1v1 situations, and this match was no different. With Haaland and Echeverri starting up front, there were frequent rotations to the ball side, creating combinations with Silva or Gundogan and forming overloads. With either Gundogan or Silva dropping deep to receive the ball, Echeverri would often rotate ball side to pin Al Ain's wide defender, creating a 2v2 situation on the flank. This gave Aït-Nouri and Núñez the space and support needed to isolate and take on their defender. It also allowed Echeverri to drop into the left half space unmarked, exploiting gaps in Al Ain's defensive setup. With no natural marker for that zone, Echeverri could freely turn and link play with Aït-Nouri, and these clever staggered rotations, supported by the fluid midfield movement, made it incredibly difficult for Al Ain to maintain defensive organization. One of Pep's biggest challenges, especially in the Premier League, has been stopping counterattacks. In the 3-2 setup, City were often vulnerable when one pivot pushed high or a wide center back stepped forward. This new 1-3 provides a potential answer. Akanji acted as the deepest central defender, almost as a modern sweeper, behind a line of 3 of Gvardiol on the left, Nico Gonzalez as the holding mid, and Kusanov on the right. This 1-3 structure allowed Pep to dedicate 3 players to cover transition moments. By holding their positions and not joining the attack, this trio could step into midfield if needed, close down counters, or delay progression long enough for City's advanced players to recover and press from behind. The positioning of these players also provided excellent pitch coverage, not just vertically but across the full width, giving City the spacing and shape needed to immediately contest second balls and maintain control. Upon any loss of possession, Pep's system ensured there were 3 dedicated players behind the ball to challenge and delay the counter, while the others could collapse from behind to press and win the ball back quickly. Pep's new 3-1-6 isn't just a one-off experiment, it's a calculated response to how defensive systems and pressing structures are evolving across Europe. By removing fixed roles in midfield, staggering his attacking 6, and using an anchored rest defense with 3 behind the ball, Pep may be paving the way for the next evolution in positional play. Whether we'll see this system against tougher opponents remains to be seen, but it's another reminder that Guardiola is still one step ahead in the tactical arms race.